Okay, so as you can see there, this is the class website, classes.smileschen.com. I will be your instructor for this class. This is Stats XL10. Let's see, what is this? Nope. And is my audio still coming through? Okay, good. Okay, so if you go to the website, this is what you will see. Okay, and you are in my XL10 class, so you will select XL10, and that is what you will see. Let me increase the zoom here. Okay, and okay, so this is the course description. You're going to learn statistics. That's basically what it says. And you need to at least intermediate algebra, so that's college algebra for you guys, or algebra 2 in high school, or something like that, okay? If you don't have the prerequisites for this class, I strongly encourage against taking this course, okay? I know many of you, perhaps even your counselor said you should take this class because if you were to take statistics at your, or try to complete your math requirement at your community college, it would take you, 3 or 4 more semesters because you have all these other classes to go. And they said, well, if you pass this class, then it fulfills your math requirement and you're done with math and you can go on. That is true, that might be true, but it puts you at a severe disadvantage. I find that often these students slow down the course, which is a little bit frustrating, especially for other students, and many of them do not pass, okay? I have to make sure that I can feel confident that you kind of at least understand statistics to a certain point if you're going to get a passing grade in this class. And so if at the end of the course I cannot say that, then you will not get the passing grade. So please make sure you have the prerequisite math. And if you have questions about it, you can come see me, okay? This is my email address. If you're going to email me, please include somewhere in there that you're in Stats XL10, okay? You can just say XL10 somewhere in there, and I will know. I teach a couple statistics classes, and so if you have questions, it helps me know what you're talking about when you reference the class, okay? We meet here, 7 to 10 o'clock, and I'm going to have office hours in this classroom also. Okay, so I'm going to arrive just a little bit early, around 6:15 or so. Forgive me if I'm a little bit late to office hours, and I'll just be sitting right there. You can come and approach me with your questions. If you have any administrative issues, the person you want to contact is Sue Kwan. I'll get her contact information up on the site as well. If any of you have any kind of disability, physical disability or learning disability, any sort of disability, the people you want to get in touch with are the Disabled Student Services at this contact address, okay? Can't highlight on this touch screen. I'm not something, okay, right there. Contact them, okay? Do not, you can tell me, but there's nothing I can do, okay? I don't have the authority to grant you extra time or make those kind of evaluations. I'm not qualified to do that, so you need to contact the Disabled Student Services. They'll ask for some documentation or paperwork, and then they will decide what accommodations you should be given. Okay? Mark these dates in your calendar: February 10th, March 24th. Make sure you do not have any vacations or trips or Any reason to miss class? Okay. February 10th, March 24th, that's going to be the midterm and final exam on those days. All right. Extension recently imposed this policy for all classes in that there will be no makeup exams. So if you are not here on the day of a quiz or a test, that's it. You don't get a makeup, okay? If there's some kind of emergency or something like that, you have to contact them and they will make a decision, okay? It used to be you contact me, I would work something out with you. That used to be the policy, but the Extension University, at least our department, imposed this policy on all of our instructors, okay? Apparently, they were getting complaints from some students that some professors allowed were more willing to do makeups and others were not, and so they said, all right, no makeups for anybody, okay? So let that be a warning. There are no makeups. And again, these are the quizzes, okay? So we have 4 quizzes, and I would also mark these dates in your calendar. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get to class and arrive on time because, again, there's going to be no makeups. I tried to help you guys out a little bit there. I will drop the lowest of the 4 quiz grades. So if you are absent on one of the quiz dates, you'll get a 0 for that quiz, but that will be the one that gets dropped. Okay. I've created a Facebook group, and there's no things here, but I created a Facebook group. You guys can join that if you wish. It's not mandatory, but if you have questions or issues or anything like that, I would recommend posting them there. Okay, so if you have questions on the homework, I would say post your question to the Facebook group rather than sending me an email because my answer to your question can benefit other students, whereas if you emailed me, it would not. Okay. The the textbook that we are using is this. Okay, it should look like this. You don't need any kind of access code or CD or anything. You just need the book, okay? So the book in of itself is very expensive. I think new it's like $160 or something. You can get it used. You can buy it wherever you want. I've put up some links to Amazon. They're not showing up here for some reason. You can use those links. You will need the textbook, but again, you don't need any of the Access e-learning, any of that stuff, okay? If you paid extra for that, I would see if you can return that textbook, get your money back, and get the cheaper version of just the textbook itself. Okay, you'll need a calculator for this class. I do not allow you to use your cell phone as a calculator, just because I can't tell if you are texting someone for answers or if you're doing math. So some kind of calculator. I highly recommend a scientific calculator. If you have a graphing calculator from a previous class, that's more than adequate. But graphing calculators are around $100. This thing will run you about $15 to $20, and it's definitely a worthwhile investment. If you don't have one of these, I strongly recommend getting one. Okay, you'll need one. And again, I have links to some calculators I recommend. They're not showing up here for some reason. And if you do get one of those calculators that I recommend, it's a great calculator, but its default settings are a little bit funny. I give you instructions here on changing your default settings. Okay, so this is just more about the exams, and then on the homework, we'll talk about that. Okay. Quizzes. Okay, so makeup policy, no makeup quizzes or exams. This is how we're going to do grading. 10% homework, 5% attendance and homework audits, 20% quizzes, 30% midterm, and 35% final exam. Okay, so that means 65% of your grade is going to be determined by those 2 exam dates. Okay, so make sure you get plenty of rest before you take those tests and you study and you're well prepared, because there are cases where students will do well on the quizzes, but then for some reason they do really poorly on the midterm or the final exam, and it dramatically affects their grade. So don't be one of those students. Make sure you want to do well on the midterm and final. Okay? Standard grading scale, I haven't had to do any kind of curving in the past. Students pass, students fail. I do my best to teach you guys, and so that's how it goes. Okay? This is an outline of the topics we cover in case you need to tell somebody what was covered in the course. Let me talk about the homework, okay? So when you click homework, what you're going to have to do is, so this is your first week of homework, right? And it's going to be due next week. And I list off the things you need to do, okay? One thing you need to do this week in order to get full credit is provide me with your name and email address. Okay, so you click this thing and you just put in your name and your email address and say you're in the XL10 class. So very simply, you got to do that if you want full credit for this week's homework. Okay. And if you want, join the Facebook group. Okay. The problems you're going to be doing. I don't know how to do highlights here. Okay. You're going to do this stuff here, and so that's just in the textbook. We'll go over a little bit. You're just going to do those homework problems. Okay. I provide a suggested schedule. Okay. Suggested schedule is a suggestion, but the reason for the suggested schedule is so that you do not do all of your homework on one day. Okay, I don't want you guys waiting till Monday of next week to do all of your statistics homework. Okay, or even Tuesday morning of next week. It's just not an effective way to learn. Okay, it's to begin with, this class meets only once per week for 3 hours, which is probably not the best way to teach statistics, especially because some of you guys might fall asleep early on, and then you're going to miss 3 hours of content or whatever, and that's like missing an entire week of school, and that's bad. But it's extension, so it's set up for night classes and set up for people who work day jobs and things like that. And so that's just the format. I don't mind it, but you also have to be aware of that. And so you want to make sure when you do your homework, I would say spread it out over a few days over the week, and learn a little bit that way. Okay? And I'm recording these videos and I post them online, so you can go back and view the video yourself. And a lot of times, I think on almost all the videos, YouTube offers a playback speed adjustment, okay? And so you can speed things up and get through the lecture a tiny bit faster that way upon second viewing. So that's there, okay? Also, for the homework problems, most of them, maybe not all of them, don't get mad at me if there's missing a video. But for most of them, I recorded some kind of answer, okay? So you do the problem and you want to check your work, you can tap one of these links and it will open up a video of me working through the solution, okay? These videos are here to help you. Don't let them become a hindrance to your learning. And what I mean by that is if you start off the problem and you don't know how to do it, try to figure out how to do it, okay? Don't jump immediately to the video. Don't say, oh, well, let me just check the answer. And and go that way, because you're not going to learn, okay? You got to, go back to the textbook, look at some other problems in the textbook that have been worked out for you, and struggle or wrestle with the problem that way, and then after you've worked it out, then you can look at the answer. But don't jump immediately to the answer, because if you do that, you'll not learn, okay? I'm doing something a little bit different with the homework, in that you're going to turn in something called a homework completion page, okay? I changed it over to this maybe 2 quarters ago, and I'm still testing it out. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Basically, I am not going to collect your actual homework. You're going to sign a paper that says, I promise I did the homework. And you're going to sign off on it, and I'm going to trust you, okay? And the paper looks like this, and you sign, right, this is homework assignment 1 up at the top, along with your name, and then you initial off saying, I promise I did the homework, and all of this, okay? And you sign that. You guys, some of you are smirking because you can see the potential for abuse here, okay? And to that, there's a degree of trust here, okay? I'm trusting that you guys are going to do your homework when you say you've done the homework. And I hope you don't violate that trust. Obviously, if you don't do the homework, you're not going to really learn the material, okay? As much as you'd like to think, and as much as I wish this were the case, you sitting here for 3 hours and me lecturing doesn't mean you can do anything, okay? And so you really demonstrate your knowledge on the quizzes and exams, and the homework is kind of like practice for that, okay? So it's for your own benefit that you do the homework. I don't really care if you do the homework or not. I do care if you learn. And I think homework is a great tool to help you learn. And so that's why I assign the homework. And I hope you guys don't cheat yourselves out of a learning opportunity by not doing the homework. So anyway, you're going to sign those papers, and you're going to turn in the papers that say you've done the homework. And that's how we're going to do homework this week, okay? Or homework for the quarter. Keep the homework that you've done. Maybe once or twice in the quarter I'm going to have an audit, and I'm going to have you guys turn in an actual homework assignment, and I'll just go through and make sure you've actually done the homework properly. And so you'll get credit for that. And then a couple times during the quarter I'll also take attendance. But that's that, okay? Are there any questions on anything? Yes?
Where do we find that document where we sign it?
Okay, so at the top of every homework assignment, you're going to see this thing that says you're not going to turn in the homework problems, you will turn in the homework completion page right there, okay? So you're going to click that link, and then at the bottom of this page it says homework paper. You're going to click and download that, okay? And you can, you're going to click print there, and it prints. So do it that way, and we should be good. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'm really excited for this class. This is my favorite subject, statistics, okay? And I love teaching this class. I know some of you will say I'm not a math person, and that's fine. I work with people who are not a math person every day. And that's okay, all right? But there's going to be, I'll do my part in trying to provide you with all the resources you need to succeed in this class. You've got to do your part in taking advantage of those resources and doing the work to learn. If you have problems, questions, come see me during office hours. I really want you guys to pass, I really do. The sad reality is that not all of you are going to put in the amount of work required, and not all of you are going to pass. And some of you are also just not prepared to take the class. And what I mean by that is you don't have the requisite math background knowledge, okay? I'm going to pass out a quiz here, okay? This is your first quiz. It doesn't count as part of your grade, but it's here to give you an idea of your math preparation, okay? And so anyway, I'm going to pause the video and we'll pass this out. And there's two parts to the quiz. The first part says no calculator, and the second part says calculator, okay? If you don't have a calculator today, you can use your cell phone as a calculator. That is allowed. But as for everything else, and the part that says no calculator, really, don't use your calculator for that, okay? It's just to see if you have an understanding of some math concepts first, okay? There's no point in cheating here, okay? Don't look over to your neighbor and see what your neighbor is writing. You're just fooling yourself if you do that, okay? During an actual quiz, I have you guys spread out so there's at least one open seat between you and your neighbor. But for this one, which is not being graded, we're not going to do that. Okay? So I'm going to pass these out and we'll take a quiz.